Okay, so yeah, it's day 2, and I've got a few things I want to say. But first of all, I just want to say that it's been Saturday, and my friend has literally just messaged me about 20 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, and said, "You've already missed a day." And believe it or not, it is currently 10 minutes past 1 in the morning here in Portugal. But I've decided, yeah, I have a bit of a fuck sleep schedule, I've got to say, and it is a Saturday, so yeah, maybe I should be a bit more disciplined. I don't know. But I just want to say, this camera is a pain in the ass to set up, by the way. Like, I've got to balance it so well because it's a massive like phone on like the smallest tripod. I would show you, but it's attached to the tripod, so I can't actually show you. But I thought I'd get that off my chest. Anyway, yeah, so it's been the first day, and today I uploaded a TikTok. It got 200k views, so it's not a bad start. It's not a bad start. So that did well. I think I uploaded 5 TikToks today to Eclipse account. I uploaded 3 TikToks to my personal TikTok. If you want to follow it, it's in the description, by the way. And yeah, I recorded a video for my marketing agency. Did some other things. I also got this wristband because I'm in Porto, and it was sunset, so I went out after the Wales game because we lost against Argentina, so wasn't too happy about that. But I went out and I got talking to this guy on the bridge, and he gave me this for free, this little wristband for free. Believe it or not, you're probably thinking this guy's already got fucking wristbands, he's probably bought it. No, I'm dead serious. He gave me this for free. So yeah, he was from Kenya. He's a really nice guy, and he was like, "Yeah, you're a nice guy. I'll give you this wristband for free." He was like, "Okay, thank you very much." And I was like, "Sorry, I wish I had cash. I didn't have cash. Whatever." He said I looked like a football player. It's ironic because I'm wearing a tennis shirt and I was wearing the same shirt earlier. Anyway, I feel like I'm waffling. I'm not getting to the point. Point is, I got a lot of stuff done today. I didn't get as much stuff done as I would have liked, but then again, I put a lot of that down to the fact that I didn't wake up until relatively late. So I need to sort my sleep schedule out. I think that's my main problem at the moment, is simply the fact that I don't get up early enough at all. And I know that getting up early and the time that you wake up doesn't really correlate to how much you earn. It's just what you do with the hours of the day. But if you're waking up late, you feel like absolute shit. As soon as you wake up, you're like, fuck, I've wasted my day. And whether it's like, obviously you think like, oh fuck, you haven't wasted your day. You've got the whole day until you go back to bed again. But the thing is yeah, you feel like shit because you've already got in your mind that you've wasted half your day, and no matter how much time you've got left, it's already midday, 11 a.m, 10 a.m, and I just feel like shit. So I would much rather wake up early, get all of my hard, deep work done in the early hours of the day, and if there is time to enjoy myself, I do it in the evening, stress-free, and be like, right, I'm going to get to work the next day, fine. So I think that is my main problem. Today I also stumbled across a tweet by 2 tweets, in fact, that I want to mention. One of which was by Jordan Peterson. I've retweeted them both on my Twitter. You can check my Twitter out in my description, by the way. But I've come across 2 tweets today, and one of which was by Jordan Peterson, as I was saying, and the tweet is this, and I quote: "Can you imagine yourself in 10 years if instead of avoiding the things you know you should do, you actually did them every single day?" Now, obviously, it's quite hard to do the things that you know you shouldn't be doing every single day. You've got to have a lot of discipline to do that, right? Because there's so much resistance around those tasks that you know you should be doing, but you don't want to do, and there's other things that are much easier to do. So there comes a lot of discipline. But if everything was easy, as I said in the last video, if everything was easy, everyone would do it. So the thing that brings value to doing the hard things and achieving like the goal that I've got with this series is the fact that it's going to be hard, right? And although I haven't had the most oomph start to the series, I mean, I got over a lot of walls of resistance to do various things, whether it be writing a document or recording this specific recording that I did today, where I have to move my whole room around again for like the 5th time. I've got to move this desk across the room, and like I could easily just sit here and be like scrolling TikTok, yeah, and then just waste another hour of my day, because it takes the stress, and I think the hardest part about being entrepreneur, right, is dealing with stress, because you get stressed all the time, and the way you deal with that stress is what makes you either be successful or not successful. So if you've got some stress from wherever it may be in your entrepreneurial life, if you're not able to deal with that properly, then you're going to find yourself in a hole. And once you build a habit of dealing with that stress with a certain thing, whether that be going on TikTok or aimlessly scrolling your phone or scrolling social media, which I have had this fucking problem for a long, long time. And anyone close to me knows that I've had this problem, especially with Twitter. Twitter is my like escape. It always has been. It's like my subconscious thing. If I get stressed while I'm working on a document, I'm like, oh, this is boring. Like, it's a subconscious thing. I don't think, oh, this is boring. But I'm like typing a document, or you find something, you get bored, or you get stressed about something, or something comes up, you're like, shit, I don't know how to respond to that. Your first point of call is to, rather than face it fucking head on, you go onto Twitter, and it's just like an escape, right? It's just like a subconscious escape. You're like, this takes my mind off of it. I can just type to random shit or read random fucking tweets, and my dopamine goes off. I feel good about myself, even though I'm achieving jack shit. So if you can control your stress and your dopamine from certain things, I know a lot of people say this a lot, but if you can control your dopamine and control the way you handle stress and your mechanisms of handling that, then I think you're going to get a long, long way. And I'm speaking that, one, to help other people, and two, because it's a problem that I have that I want to figure out. And that's the point of this series, is to face all these problems head on and be like, shit, okay, this is a problem. This is how we're going to fix the problem. And that's kind of like how I see a lot of how you make money, right? It's, you find a problem that someone may have, preferably rich people problems, and then you then fix that problem with a solution. And that's how you make the money, because you're helping someone out. And the more value you add to someone's life, the more value you can bring to someone, the more money you're therefore going to go and make, right? So that's how I kind of perceive this thing. And so the way you handle problems in any aspect of your life is whether you win significantly, you win a bit, you lose, or you fail completely. So that's kind of how I perceive it. And it works in literally every single area of your life. Every area. Like, if I'm... It's, yeah. I've completely forgot. I've completely lost the topic I was just talking about. They will come to me, but... yeah, the way you deal with stress is is significant, man. So the best way that I'm going to kind of like succeed in this, and if anyone's doing a similar thing to what I'm doing at the moment, is finding the problems that I have in my life. So the bad habits that I may have, the bad coping mechanisms that I may have to certain things, all this kind of stuff. It's the way that I then go and deal with those problems, right? So yeah, that's what I'm kind of trying to figure out. And I think the best way of doing that is, I would like to have a whiteboard in this room. Like, I'll show you the room. I think this will like go down. But in this room, I mean, I could put a whiteboard here, but I don't, believe it or not, I'm in Portugal, and a whiteboard isn't the most common thing to come across, and they don't have Amazon here, I don't believe. So it's a weird noise. Anyway, they don't have Amazon here, so to just write it down in a journal. I mean, I'm stacked on journals. I've got one by my bed. I've got two here. This is a to-do list journal. This is literally, I'm not going to leak anything, but this literally has like hours of the day, tasks to complete, whatever. I've had this for ages. And then this is just a plain journal that I just write random shit in, or sometimes I'll do drawings in or whatever. So, yeah, this isn't fairly used. The one I use the most is by my bed, hence why it's by my bed. I just use it all the time. I use it when I wake up, use it when I go to sleep, whatever. But the best way of dealing with these problems is, I think, to go and write down all of your like bad habits. So, what do I do when something gets stressful? I go on Twitter, I go on TikTok, I do this, I do that. I find a way to escape from that issue, and instead of escaping from that issue, face it head on, because that's where the money's made. That's where you're gonna move forward, right? So that's my kind of take on that. But that's one problem. You've also got your habits, so bad habits. I think the main thing that everything stems down to is literally stress and how well you can do the hard things. First of all, it's getting over the barrier of actually starting the hard thing and doing the hard thing. That's the hardest part. Once you've started, you realize, actually, this isn't that bad. It's like when you go to the gym, right? You're like, fuck, I don't ever want to go to the gym today. I've got to walk there. I've got to get changed. I've then got to come over, have a shower. I've got to do this shit. It's like, But once you're there, you're like pumped. You're like, fuck, I'm here. There's nothing I have to do. All I've got to do is fucking lift the weight and fucking bring it down and shit. So, I think that's yeah. There's that. There's the wall of procrastination and the wall of resistance, which I literally uploaded a TikTok on today, by the way, which you can check out, link in my bio. But yeah, there's that. But also there's how you deal with stress. So when you're doing a task, as I said before, when you're doing a task and you get bored of doing that task, whether it be writing a doc or anything, it's how you deal with that boredom, or if something stressful comes up, it's how you deal with that stress. And rather than dealing with the stress via going on Twitter or TikTok. I know I've said this before, but I just want to ingrain it in your mind, because this goes through my mind, and this is also a venting period as well. Not only just to teach you guys, if anyone's actually watching this video, but also kind of just to add content to this 10K month series thing. But it's how you deal with stress. And instead of going on TikTok or whatever when you're stressed or bored at a topic, you either face it head on, and I've literally bought a stress ball with me for this exact problem. This is exactly why I bought it. So there's coping mechanisms, and instead of going on TikTok, I've got a new thing. I'll grab it now. Hold on. Give me 1 second. It's right in front of me. So instead of going on TikTok, I've got this fucking thing that I got for Christmas. It was like a little funny gift. It wasn't like genuinely bought for me because I'm a stressful person, but it was like a random Christmas gift depending on which seat you sat in at the table. And by the way, yeah. Anyway, so I've got this, and I was like, this could actually be quite helpful. So when I'm stressed at a topic, instead of going, I'm just gonna play 3 fingers and go across to Twitter, which I'll now shut anyway, and block with certain apps, but that's a whole new conversation. I pick this up and I fucking squeeze it as fucking hard as I can, because it's just something. It's just doing something. It's like on your mind, like, this is what I'm gonna do when I'm stressed. Fucking pull that thing, or or anything else. I think I've made another TikTok which is ready to post. I'll post it like whenever. But another thing is maybe walk around your house. Like if I'm bored, I'm gonna walk around my house. Fine. You're gonna forget why you're bored. You then sit back down at your desk and you get on with what you're doing again. No, just deep work. And if it's too difficult and you're doing it for too long a period of time, and you might be so-called burnt out, what you can do is maybe just take like a 5-minute break. And don't have a 5-minute break on Twitter, because that's just going to completely ruin your focus. But do it something intentionally. Maybe go and get a snack, go on a walk, as I say, around the kitchen, around the house, around outside, or just do anything that's less demanding than your task. That's just like somewhat mindless, but just do something that you do intentionally, right? As long as it's intentional, fine. But preferably not TikTok, because you're just going to get voice crack. You're just going to get stuck on your phone. But yeah, that's one thing I want to talk about. There's a lot of things that I want to talk about on this topic, and I feel like I do feel like, I mean, I'm only 20, right? But I feel like I'm very educated on this kind of topic of dealing with problems. And obviously, I sound somewhat naive saying that, because I'm 20. I haven't even had these problems to deal with. But I've just read so much from like I've literally in the last 4 years I've read probably like 70 plus books on self-help, business, this stuff. And I've kind of not learned from my own experiences, but learned from the experience of others, how they dealt with these problems, what the problems that they face are. And I've also dealt with the problems myself, a lot of them. And so I can kind of speak with somewhat of a knowledge on these certain topics, right? And whether I'm good at dealing with them or not, I know exactly what I've got to do. It's just whether I can actually put them into practice. So, yeah, that's kind of why I'm kind of speaking on this somewhat confidently. And I wouldn't really say I'm wrong, especially the stress thing. I think is something that's quite important. And if you can deal with stress and boredom, then you can achieve anything, man. But anyway, moving on to the second thing I wanted to speak about today. As I said, there was someone walking past my apartment, and my door's pretty thin, so they can hear everything I'm saying. But anyway, so it was a tweet by Alex Hormozy, and he says, "People spend their entire lives in passive discomfort, avoiding 36 months of active discomfort to get what they really want." So this kind of stuck with me earlier. Again, it's pretty similar to the last tweet. It's people will sit there and get stressed about whatever it might be that they want to do. They want to start a business, they want to do this, they want to do that. But they're like, oh, I don't know if it's going to work. Oh, I don't know if I can be asked to do it. Oh, there's a lot of fucking stigma around it. I don't know if I want to start this thing. I don't know if I want to write this document. And I have the same problem. That's why I'm speaking like I am. But they then cope with that passive discomfort by going on TikTok, and then they feel shit about themselves while they go on TikTok, but they feel slightly good enough just to make it work. So they keep going on TikTok because that's their coping mechanism. But they still sat there in discomfort. It's like, shit, I should be doing this instead. But this feels all right. I'll just keep doing this. It feels all right. And then a day passes, another day passes, another day passes. Next thing you know, you're 30. So that's why I'm making this fucking series now. So I'm fucking starting this shit now instead of going 10 years in the future and looking back on my life and regret. But yeah. People spend their entire lives in passive discomfort, avoiding 36 months of active discomfort to get what they really want. And active discomfort being discomfort of doing the task that they actually know what they've got to do. So doing the outreach that they've got to do. And I think we can all, I know I've already said this, but I think we can all kind of agree on this topic that when you start doing something, it's not actually as bad as what your mind has made it up to be, right? So if you can find a mechanism to get over that initial barrier of resistance, then, mate, there is no ceiling on what you can achieve if you can just force yourself to get over that wall of resistance. And yeah, I made a TikTok earlier on this exact same thing. I'm going to find the quote that I read out in the video. It was by Stephen Pressfield in a book I read called The War of Art, if anyone has heard of that. But I'm just trying to find the asset. Hold on. Easy choices. No? Do what you don't want to do. Right, Resistance. So it's by The War of Art. It's a book by Stephen Pressfield, basically about procrastination, right? And I'll kind of summarize what he says here. Resistance is not out to get you personally. It doesn't know who you are and doesn't care. Resistance is the force of nature. So resistance is the resistance from you doing the task that you know you've got to do. So it's the active discomfort thing that Alex Hormozy is talking about, as well as what Jordan B. Peterson is saying about, can you imagine yourself in 10 years if instead of avoiding the things you know you should do, you actually do them every single day? So the things that you know you shouldn't do, the things you know you should do, instead of avoiding them, and the reason you avoid them being that resistance that Stephen Pressfield is talking about in that quote, you actually do those things because resistance is it is the reason that you don't do those things, because it is something. There was another quote. I feel like this is a quote. I'm missing a quote about. I'm just trying to explain my point as best as I can. Yeah, here we go. I feel like that is the wrong screenshot. I feel like that's for a different TikTok. Right, this is the quote that I was actually looking for. The more important a call to action is to our soul's evolution, the more resistance we will feel about answering it. But to yield to resistance deforms our spirit, it stuns us and makes us less than we are and were born to be. So it's talking about how we're so good at avoiding tasks that we know we should do because they're like, oh, it feels difficult. We don't like doing hard things, right? And if you can just force yourself to do the hard things, if you can just find a way to just absolutely Just nail down and do the hard things that you know you should be doing. Might be hard or you think are hard, but once you actually start doing them, they're not hard. That if you can force yourself to do the hard things, you're going to get so far in life, man. And yeah, this is the kind of stuff that I talk about in my Telegram, by the way. So if you want to join my Telegram, again, the link is in my description. But yeah, as I say, the more important a call to action is to our soul's evolution, the more resistance we will feel about answering it. So you know how important those tasks are, and you know why you're doing those tasks, whether that reason might be to help your family, so you can get more money to help your family, or to get more money so you can help your just whole living experience and how you live day by day. All of these things, if you can get over that wall, which I feel like this has just kind of turned into like a TED talk rather than me just talking about my 10K a month journey, but I think this is a problem that I need to face, and that's why I'm talking about it. And I need to sort out properly, because I'm by no means perfect, but I do understand the science behind it, which is kind of naive of me because I don't actually put it into practice a lot of the time. But yeah, that's my kind of take on that. And I read something by what's his name, Andrew Huberman earlier, which was something along the lines of, if you've got a task that you find really hard to do, whether let's just use writing a document about something as an example, and you're like, shit, I don't ever want to do this, I can put it off till tomorrow, I'm going to do it tomorrow. Instead of forcing yourself to go to that hard thing, you force yourself to do something that's hard, but a lot less hard than that specific thing. So it might be something like tidying the house, or cleaning the kitchen, or cleaning the worktops, or cleaning the tops of your kitchen, whatever. If you can force yourself to clean those worktops, which in your head you probably think is less hard than writing that document that you've been putting off for a long time, it will then get you over that barrier of procrastination. Be like, okay, I've done that, and I'll do this. So I think that's just like a scientific thing that I read about earlier. But again, the reason I'm reading these quotes, especially the Jordan B. Peterson one, the Andrew Huberman one, and the Alex Hormozy one, is for exactly the reason that I was telling you before. It is stress, and I've gone onto Twitter because I'm stressed at something that I might be doing, and it's my mechanism of coping with that stress. And I go on Twitter and I see that quote. So, I mean, you could argue it's productive. I don't think it's productive. I do it all the time. It's just kind of regurgitating the same shit that I know anyway. But yeah, it's a problem that I need to get over, and I think I'm not the only person that needs to get over it as well. There's a lot of people that need to go over the problem of this stuff, so that's why I'm talking about it. But yeah, again, today I uploaded like 5 TikToks to a Clips channel, which has 14.9 thousand followers. I uploaded 3 TikToks to my personal brand. I've uploaded this video. Well, you'll see it when it's uploaded, so it will be uploaded. And I've recorded a video, and I think, honestly, I think that's all I might be missing some things, but regardless, I think that's quite an embarrassing amount of work that I've done today. But regardless, it's about showing up, and I've done that today. But again, if I want to get to 10K a month and end this series, then I've got a lot more work to do. I can't be putting in the same amount of hours that I've put in today. And given it is a Saturday, Wales did play today, Wales did lose today, that didn't exactly make me happy. I could have got more done today. So there's 2 sides to the coin, and I'm happy that I've done that, but also I feel like I could have done more, and I feel like that every single day. So yeah, I'm gonna try and use my time more intentionally, especially in the early hours of the day, and then I can use the hours in the evening as more of a chill time to kind of almost kind of relax, right? I need to sort my sleep schedule out. I can't be getting up as late as I am at the moment. It's embarrassing. It really is. And I feel like shit when I wake up, and it just kind of ruins my whole day. So if I can get up somewhat earlier, I think that'd be good. But yeah, it's all about using my time more intentionally. I think that would be the main kind of principle that I need to go with moving forward. Again, it's Sunday tomorrow. There's nothing really big going on. There is American football on tomorrow. I mean, this team is literally playing tonight, the ice hockey. I mean, I'm talking here. about all this stuff, and I'm sat here watching every single sport in the world. But what I do think is, if something makes you happy, then I don't think there's anything wrong with watching it or doing it if you're using the rest of your time intentionally and as best as you can, and not wasting the time that you have on this planet, because there's only one life that you get, right? And you're only this age once, so use the time wisely. And if you enjoy something, use that and do that. If there's things that you need to do them and do them intentionally. Don't just kind of like ride the wave of the day and just use your time like, yeah, I'll do this later. Just fucking get it done, man. And I'm talking to myself as much as I'm talking to people watching this video. I don't think there's much more that I need to go over today. It's just basically being straight with you guys. I need to be more intentional with what it is I'm doing during the day. I need to get up much earlier. I need to stick and use my time a lot more intentionally. And I think tomorrow I'm going to upload at least 3 TikToks to my personal brand again. That's non-negotiable. I'm going to upload the TikToks to my other account, probably 5 TikToks again. Regarding the other stuff, that's a bit more, I don't want to say confidential, but I need to speak to the team on that. We'll see what's going on. But it's more a point of, first of all, stop trying to get the thumbs up from others to do stuff. I think I should just do it, because I use that as an excuse of not doing things, I think, a lot of the time. And I feel like I'm not the only person that has these problems. I think a lot of people have this same kind of problem as I do. So I'm kind of speaking just so you can kind of relate and be like, oh shit, okay, I do this as well. Because this isn't just for you, it's for me as well, this whole series. So that's my take on things, man. Again, I want to try and educate myself as best I can. So I'm going to integrate reading books into this as well, because I do learn a lot from books, and there are a lot of books that I want to read, and there's a lot of knowledge that I gain from those books. I think sorry to go on another tangent, but I think the amount of knowledge and wisdom that I've gained from reading books in the last 4 years. I mean, I started 2020. I think I said to myself I was going to read a book a month, and I think I wouldn't say I've stuck to that, but I wouldn't say I'm far off. There's so many books that I've read in the last, I couldn't even name them all. And you just got to build it as a habit. You start small, just be like, right, I'm going to read 10 pages a day. It's the act of showing up. And then once you start showing up, you're like, okay, it's not that bad. I'll read a few more than 10 pages. The next thing you know, you've read a 200-page book in less than a week. So, it's fairly easy to just get carried away with that kind of stuff if you can just build the habit into your life. But, enough with the tangents. I think just reading is, as a lot of much wealthier people would agree, that reading is one of the most beneficial things you can do, especially if you're not making that much money or you want to start making money. But then again, I think this is the last thing I'll say in this video. This is the last thing I'm going to say. Rather than procrastinating and using books as a procrastination structure, you again need to use your time intentionally. And rather than thinking, I'm going to read 10 books on this, then I'll start. I think the best thing is to start, but while you're starting, then use the other time that you've got spare to read books on that topic, as well as other things that would add value to what it is you're doing, whether it be sales, negotiation, psychology, business, money, how to manage your money, how to not spend your money. I mean, I've got myself in very good money habits. I don't really spend much money, but now that I've come here, I've spent a lot of money, to which my financial situation isn't as good as it once was. So, but that's about life, and I'm only 20. I mean, it's not like the whole point of being this age is to spend money and to enjoy the life while you're young, right? So that's my kind of philosophy. But going on another tangent, if you're going to start doing something, Don't stop fucking thinking and use an excuse and be like, you know, I'm going to do a bit more research before I start this. I'm going to watch a few more videos. I'm going to read a few more books. I'm going to read a few more articles. Then I'll start this thing. I think you want to start, just fucking start it, man. Because the amount of stuff you'll learn from doing it is going to be a lot more valuable than the books. As much as you think the books are productive, they are, but you'll learn a lot more from actually doing the thing than sitting there reading books. But I mean, books are valuable, but then again, if you spend the rest of your life reading books, you're just going to have read fucking 100,000 books and that's it, you know? So you've got to put them into practice, and rather than putting them into practice further down the line, I think it's best to do it now and read those books and, well, to start it and read books whilst you're going along the journey, rather than reading books then starting the journey, because it's just another form of procrastination, and it just ties into the quote that I said before. So I'm going to read the quote one more time and then I'll end the video. But the quote is this quote changed my fucking life, and I think it will change yours. If you actually think about the quote, if you think about the quote and be like, okay, right, okay. The more important a call to action is to our soul's evolution, the more resistance we will feel about answering it. There you go, boys. I'll read it one more time. The more important a call to action is to our soul's evolution, the more resistance we will feel about answering it. I think that is my favorite quote, man. Just think about that quote. I'll put it in the description of this video. If anyone has watched to this point, that quote is the single most valuable quote, I think. One of the most valuable quotes that I've read. Yeah. So just please think about that quote, and everything that you keep making excuses about and be like, yeah, I'll do this tomorrow. But you know how fucking important it is. That is why you can't do it, because it is going to make, it is important to your soul's evolution, right? So that's where I'll leave it. I hope you've enjoyed watching the last 32 minutes of me talking to myself into a camera. Thank you for watching. I'll be back again tomorrow, and I'm not slacking on a series, man. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back live. I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll see if I've implemented any of the things that I've just stated in this video by tomorrow. But again, it's habits. You want to start small. You don't just click your fingers and you go like that. It's mindset. It's a mindset shift. So if you want things to stick, you don't want to. Last thing I'll say. If you want things to stick, you want to start small. You don't want to start big, because people say to themselves at the start of the year that they're going to start going to the gym at the end of the day, and like 90% of people stop doing it because it's such a big fucking change that they're just not used to that change, and no one can keep up with that fucking change. So you need to start small. Be like, right, I'm gonna go to the gym once a week. Cool. That's not really hard to do. Maybe on a day it's hard to do, but if you can force yourself to do it, it's a way of going. And I think I read it in a book. Atomic Habits. I think it was a quote about a woman starting running, and he started her by walking out of the house, and all she had to do was walk out the house and go to the end of the drive, which was literally a 10-meter walk or something. Then that was all she did for the first day. The second day, she then walked to the end of her street, and that was only walking. And then by the 10th day, she was then running around the block. So it was literally like 500-meter run or something. And then within like 3 months, she was then running a marathon. So start small. Start fucking small, but show up every day and be consistent. That's why I'm starting this series. I'm not expecting to be absolute David Goggins in tomorrow, but I will, as long as I'm 1% better every day, we're moving forward, boys. So anyway, thank you for watching the video. I appreciate you, and I'll put the quote in the description, as well as the book. Actually, I'll put the book in there as well. But thank you for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow evening. Well, maybe tomorrow early morning, because it's currently 1:41 in the morning. But regardless, thank you for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow. Cheers, boys.